brake in. On the power, straight line across, bit more, full throttle, go. Oh shit, that's full.
Hi guys, so it's the end of the weekend at Cadwell Park. It didn't quite go to plan. As you can see here, we're sitting in a Mini, but not our normal Mini because it has back seats.
And front leather seats and an interior.
Slightly different to what we came down with.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's start at the beginning. So we did testing on Friday. I had Tom Mack as my driver's coach, who's awesome as always. So first session went pretty well. There was an off in the first session, so we'd red flagged a bit. But yeah, my times were good. I'd managed to sort of pretty much match my times from last year in the Mini, just getting up to pace.
Keep going, in your turn, keep going, on the power, go, 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 go. Over to the right, on the power, go, 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 keep left, go, go, tiny brake, off the brake, turn in, bit tighter, more power, full power, go. Right, this lap we should get by before the braking zone, keep going, pull out the toe now. Mega, and brake, fourth, third, ease off the brake, bit tighter, go, full power. Right, clear of all occasions, let's go, tighter, up to the access road. Keep going, gentle brake, in, patient, feather the throttle, straight line, and full beans, go, over to the right, brake, good, in we turn, on the power, gentle, full power now, go, over to the right, roll the road, right, hold third, brake, hold third, off brake, roll in, bit tighter, second without a brake, go, full power. It's got to be, push, full chat, go, into third, nice and patient, brake. Keep going. Bit tighter, full power, go. Third, ease off, don't brake, turn in, more power, full power.
So we got what, 20-minute sessions, so we're getting there, and then second session everything just went wrong. Basically first lap out everything was going alright, just running it in like normal, just warming up the tyres and stuff, going around the track, and then I got to gooseneck and for some reason the car just let go on me, and at the time I had literally no idea why.
And away we go. On the power, go. Little brake, in. Bit too much pressure there. On the power now, unwind. Remember, treat it like a corner. Hold brakes a bit early. Fourth, third, that's one. Off brake, in you go. On the power, go. Off brake in, on the power, straight line across, bit more, full throttle, go. Oh shit, that's full. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. The car's not.
No.
So?
Oh, fucking hell.
Get on the slip road?
No, leave it. You don't know what's broken.
Fuck.
Sure you're alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Pissed off. Fine. Sorry, you're right.
I'm fine, honestly.
It's not until we reviewed the footage and like went back that evening after the track had closed to actually see.
Well, first of all, obviously the car got taken in.
Yeah.
And I started, obviously, my first instinct was, right, just get it back out on track. So I started just ripping the car apart, taking all the bent bits off, and I noticed that the rear driver's side caliper had one bolt missing and was sticking up. But I didn't quite think of anything then. It didn't really cross my mind like what could have happened until we reviewed the footage, and then, as Emma said, went out on track that night. You'll see the track walk here.
So we're just trying to figure out what happened earlier today. We've come out tonight in the rain because obviously there'll be more tyre marks here tomorrow, so we're not going to see what happened. And to be honest, I'm really lucky I didn't roll the car. We have a theory that the rear caliper bolt that was not there when we took it back has come out around about here. You can see where my wheel has locked up here. This is my driver's rear. Goes in a straight line and then the car rotates. You've seen the video, I don't know, maybe soon or after or before this, I don't really know. But then the tracks are narrow and then they get wide. Those two straight lines in front of you, that's my car. But that's my car facing back up the hill. And then I hit that barrier probably about 80, 90-ish. But you can see here where the wheels have dug in. I don't know how the fuck I didn't roll this car. Yeah.
And you can see the skid mark, and I'm like, that wheel's locked up.
Yeah, the rear driver's wheel.
Yeah, the rear driver's wheel is locked up, and
at that point from the footage as well, like you can hear it on the Garmin. Like Tom's telling me, I've just come around the last chicane, and Tom's telling me to like floor it, foot down, you know. So I'm full throttle, and I'm nowhere near the brake. So and I'm also like, you know, I'm on the track. You can see from the footage, I'm nowhere near the grass. I'm nowhere near the curb. So it's like, that's why I didn't understand why the car shot me off like it did.
And with the diff we got as well, as soon as you're full throttle, whatever way the front wheels are pointing, the car should drag you that way.
Yeah.
Unless obviously a wheel locks, and then it'll.
Yeah, and it happened so fast. And obviously, as soon as you're on the grass, you've got no control. So yeah, it slid me onto the grass. Like, I spun on the track. I was then facing sort of the wrong way, and we don't know how fast I was going because the Garmin like stopped recording as soon as the impact happened, or it stopped recording the footage. There was still sound, but there's no speed from that lap, obviously. So, but we surmise like top of third. That's pretty much 90 miles an hour.
85, 90, something like that.
So we reckon, and obviously I'm going downhill. I've got full throttle in that gear as well. And obviously I'm on the grass, so I'm just speeding up toward the barrier sideways, and yeah, collided. So it's what it is.
So damage report, obviously, took all the bent bits off. So the rear driver's trailing arm was shattered. Both the track control arms on the rear driver's side were bent. The front wishbone was bent. Front driver's brake disc was cracked, and that was pretty much it, I think.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've got chassis damage,
which we didn't discover until we'd worked on the car for about 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
And sending people off to various places down south to get parts for us. A huge thanks to Arrive for supplying us loads of parts. I say I'm pointing because they're literally just packing up the truck right now. And also thanks to Tom, because he volunteered to go down to somewhere near London to pick up some new brake discs for us.
Yeah, we turned our driving coach into a delivery driver.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really the vocation for him, but you know, like.
Yeah. It really helped us out because we were just wanting to get out on track for the race or for the qualifying on Saturday. That was the main thing, and we thought at that point that we still could. Yeah. It was just parts we were needing, and it wasn't until like literally the last thing we were just fixing a few last little bits and pieces because we were waiting on parts. And then Stephen tried to realign the bonnet because it wouldn't quite shut right, so it wasn't till then we saw the chassis leg.
So I tried to realign the bonnet, and if you know R53s, you know the tensioner bolt for the supercharger. You can usually get to that with a spanner, and there's no way the top of the chassis line was just completely covered in that. So I'm like, yeah, that's moved. And after looking at it and looking at other cars around the paddock, I'm like, yeah, that's bent.
And then you look further back and you can see it's actually kinked. So.
Yeah. And then the next morning, I came back down here, decided just to get the car back together so we can get it on the trailer, get everything tidied up. And I think something's bent at the back as well. Because once I got, again, massive thanks to Arrive for giving us a heap of parts, but I got all the parts that they gave us on, and the back driver's wheel is like really far back in the arch. So yeah, there's quite a few things bent. So yeah, I went to my usual solution, buy another car,
which we're now sitting in. So we have just under 5 weeks now until our next race at Mallory. So the plan is to get them, and the thing is, lots of people here, everyone was trying to give us ideas, which is great, and we really appreciate that. But some of the things were just not feasible. Like, people were saying, oh, you know, you could jig that. Even our scrutineer was like, you know, that is jiggable. I've seen other cars way in worse condition than yours to have that done. But for Stephen, he's like, he wouldn't trust the car anymore. He didn't believe that that would still be safe. And also the fact that, as you know, we've had problems with our supercharger belt, and that has literally been millimeters out of alignment. So, you know, with having to try and straighten the chassis, there's going to be alignment issues somewhere, and we don't want it to cause even more issues down the line. So the quickest and easiest solution for us, rather than having to fix like loads of tiny little issues, is just to transfer all the good parts off the other car into this one and strip this one out. And start afresh, basically. I'm
thinking I'm going to keep the other car, and I probably will try and straighten it out eventually, but I want to take my time over it. I want to make sure it's done right.
It's not something we want to be rushing, especially when you're driving at high speed, and we want it to be safe. That's the main thing.
To get us back on track, or to get Emma back out on track, I want to just use a shell that I know is straight. So
starting from some good place.
So we bought a good one. It's got pretty much a fresh MOT on it. It's straight enough. It'll do exactly what we want. So that's what we've done. We bought this, and then yeah, we're just gonna tear it apart and turn it into a race car.
All right, thanks guys. We'll have plenty of footage now of Stephen rebuilding this car.
Yeah, so if you want to see what I'm away to do, just watch all our previous videos, and then they'll just be a repeat. Hopefully,
yeah, it'll be a repeat, but slightly better.
Slightly better and slightly quicker, and I might know what I'm doing this time.
All right, anyway, we better go. So we'll catch you next time, guys.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.